August 16, 1977. Outside Graceland in Memphis, a crowd gathered that would never forget the day. Some people were crying. Some stood perfectly still, mouths open in disbelief. Police lights traced the driveway. Inside the mansion, a man who changed music lay motionless. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was dead. Also the world would be told. Elvis Aaron Presley exploded into fame in the mid-1950s. A young truck driver's son, hips swiveling, voice a new kind of thunder, he rewired popular music. Teenagers screamed. Record sales soared. And the world began to look very different. But decades of stadium lights take a cost. The touring, the pressure, the constant need to be bright and sharp wore on him. He gained weight. His energy flagged. And he leaned on prescription medicine to get through days and nights. His manager, Colonel Tom Parker, demanded shows. His doctor, Dr. George Dr. Nick Nicopolis, managed the pills. And his private life, complicated marriages, heartbreaks, a longing for simpler times. To understand the shock, rewind to the morning before the world changed. Elvis had stayed up late the night before, playing piano, singing gospel songs in a small circle, an intimate ritual he loved. Friends later said he seemed thoughtful, almost withdrawn. At dawn he read about religious relics. He was fascinated by mortality and mystery. He ate little. He joked with staff. By 9:30 a.m., he kissed his fiancée, Ginger Alden, and disappeared into the quiet of the house. That afternoon, the ordinary mystery unfolded. A knock on the bathroom door with no answer. Ginger opened the door and found Elvis face down on the floor. She screamed. The bodyguard ran in. CPR. Ambulance sirens. At 3:30 p.m. at Baptist Memorial Hospital, doctors confirmed it. Elvis Presley was dead. The official line said cardiac arrest. But the world wanted more than a cause. They wanted explanation, context, reason, and most of all closure. Newsrooms exploded. Radio stations dropped normal programming and played Elvis songs around the clock. Stores sold out of records within hours. Fans flooded Graceland, carrying flowers and notes, building makeshift shrines at the gates. On television, anchors struggled to find words for a public that had grown up with Presley's voice as a soundtrack. Every age group felt it. Teenagers who discovered rebellion through Elvis, parents who saw the world shift, artists who learned how to blend gospel, country, and rhythm into something new. It felt like the end of an era. Toxicology and autopsy reports would later show a complex picture. Prescription medication, sedatives, painkillers, stimulants were present. Doctors argued over cause and culpability. Some blamed decades of strain and a heart worn thin. Others pointed to a cocktail of drugs that could stop a heart without warning. His personal physician, Dr. Nick, later faced scrutiny and professional consequences. Was he enabling addiction or treating a man in constant pain? These questions don't have comfortable answers. More than 80,000 people thronged the streets of Memphis for his funeral. Tears and flowers, and a sorrow that felt enormous and personal all at once. Graceland became a shrine, his gravesite a place for pilgrimage. Decades after his death, visitors still leave coins, letters, and press flowers. Elvis's cultural footprint never faded. Musicians cite him as an influence. Movies, TV shows, fashion, his presence remains a living echo. When legends die young or tragically, fans refuse to accept finality. They keep looking, through grainy photos, airport sightings, and eyewitness rumors. A sighting in Arizona. A grainy photo at a diner. A man in a hat who looked suspiciously like the king. These sightings fueled a myth. Elvis had faked his death. The reasons people propose are always the same: escape, privacy, or simply the inability to carry on while under such crushing fame. Then there are the details that won't go away. Official paperwork with odd numbers scribbled in the margins. An autopsy photo that some researchers say was misfiled. claims decades later of missing documents or sealed files that never made it to public archives. There's the alias he once used, John Burroughs, a simple stage name buried in Elvis trivia. Some say he used the name to buy a ticket out of the country in secret. Others point to the sudden, almost instantaneous hush for his death, how ambulances moved quickly, how mortuary staff acted with efficiency, that some call suspicious. A photo surfaces in a small town diner years after. An older man with the king's profile. People circle it, magnify it, argue over a mole or a tooth. Conspiracy podcasts pick it up, documentaries rerun it, and a whole industry grows around the doubt. And yet here's the truth nobody can escape. Even those who claim sightings can't produce definitive proof. No sober court has overturned the official record. Still, the inconsistencies, real or imagined, feed a story people don't want to end. Beyond the mystery, Elvis's influence is measurable. Musicians who followed learned to break rules, genre rules, social rules, because Elvis did it first. He bridged segregated radio, moving black-influenced rhythm into mainstream white audiences. That changed culture and sparked something messy, beautiful, and inevitable. His style, snare, cuff, and swagger became a template for generations. And his vulnerability, recipes of humanity hidden beneath rhinestones, reminded the world that even kings can be fragile. The king is gone, but the records spin. Countless artists owe him a chord, a cadence, a storytelling beat. Documentaries, films, and books keep retelling the rise and the fall. And those who would rewrite the ending, the sighting hunters, the theorists, keep the rumor in circulation. This is part of the Elvis story, a public life so bright that the shadow of doubt feels necessary for some to reckon with the loss. Here's what stays with us. A man who shaped music, who stirred culture, who lived under constant demand. Someone who left behind records and legend and unanswered questions. Did he die because his body simply gave out? Did he stage his escape, as some insist? Or is the truth one more complicated, messy, and human than any single theory can capture? We don't get a neat ending here. We get a life, loud and imperfect, and a mystery that will echo as long as people keep listening.